Welcome, everyone, to an historic occasion. It's all bomb pots all the time. We think it's the first time in both televised and YouTube history for a cash game that it's going to be all bomb pots. Grant, pretty excited here.
Yeah, so as we see, this is our first bomb pot. We have some new players. We have Young Blood, which is cool as hell.
Yeah.
We have Thomas. The rest are familiar to those of you who are Poker Time regular viewers.
This is just a normal holdem bomb pot. Single board. We're also going to be playing double board on half of the pots. So it's going to get crazy out there.
Yeah, because some of it's Omaha, too. Double board Omaha bomb pots. We're gonna wrestle our way through those things.
It's going to be an experience that we're all going to share together. Anyway, we have a bet from Youngblood.
Looks like Wheel just raised out of the big blind with King 8 off on the Deuce 3-4 board.
Wow.
That's just ambitious as hell, and I think it's going to work.
By the way, Youngblood betting with Ace-Queen on this board, too. Everyone's feeling their oats early here.
What the hell just happened? That's a bomb pot.
Two guys bluffing.
That's a rarity in a bomb pot.
Maybe because this is the place where you can be the bluffiest, I guess, where, you know, you're going to connect the least, or other people are going to connect the least with a single board and only two cards in your hand.
Yeah, and when we go to double board, then, of course, it's harder to bluff. And then when we go to Omaha and then double board Omaha, it's all just different degrees of difficulty for bluffing. So I guess you got to get your bluffs in on the single board holdem bomb pots.
Well, we'll see if this is a sign of Wheel really trying to do some stuff here. We see Wonka's got pocket tens.
Dude, he said I wore makeup.
Suited connector there for Wheel.
Ace king for Dan Ross. He flops an ace. Is it the best hand? No. Jackie's got bottom two.
59% right now for Jackie.
You weren't wearing makeup?
Dan Ross feels like he's got to protect.
He also has the ace of diamonds in his hand as a little bit of a backup.
There will be blood.
Blood and guts.
That just might be the
See if
title.
Jackie feels like this is a raise. Looks like she is going to go for a raise right now, Grant.
I think that's probably the superior play. You can just auto fold to any 3-bet behind you. You don't have to be in a position of guesswork on the turn if Dan keeps betting. I think this is the better play, even though you could just be lighting 160 on fire in a bomb pot. But still, I think it's superior.
Makes sense, though. She wants to just protect her hand.
And guess what? It protected it a little too well. Dan
Well-
Ross folded ace king. It makes sense in a bomb pot. That's, I guess, why you asked the question. Should you even raise?
I mean, I think it's not so bad to fold out slightly better hands, or slightly worse hands, though, in this case, where he does have a fair amount of equity. You don't really know what you're trying to dodge as Jackie, because it could be anything. It's possible Dan's going to try and bluff on certain diamonds anyway.
Bluff?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're expecting him to have an initial bluff already.
I just mean if a diamond comes on the turn of the river, you might get bluffed off the hand sometimes.
He probably already had to be bluffing for that to be the case, though.
That's probably true. That's a fair point.
So I think we're doing one orbit of each style of game. So this is our first orbit. We're just doing the nice, easy, no-limit hold'em.
Nice and easy. Open ender here for Wonka.
Dan Ross with trips.
Youngblood with just a pair. Dan Ross once again flopping pretty well, betting $50.
50? You can.
Digital Dan was really thinking about it there, but lets it go.
I mean, because they're going to know what you have.
Yeah, right, Ross. Like I believe you.
Wonka, who has studied bomb pots extensively with an open ender, I'm curious to see how he approaches this with the paired board and the open ender.
Being out of position as well, he may not even call. He may just fold right now. Let's see. Yep, he just lets it go.
It's wild.
This is the warm-up round. This single board is just...
Wonka's showing us how the pros do it. You just don't get involved with marginal spots in a bomb pot where anyone can literally have anything. In case you guys are new to bomb pots, by the way, here's how it works. Everyone gets dealt their whole cards. Everyone antes, in this case $10, and we go right to the flop, and the action starts on the small blind. So we just zoom to the flop action. So it creates a lot of action. Everyone sees a flop.
This is no action at all in comparison to what we're going to see in the future of this episode.
I mean, as soon as we get to double boards, it's going to be really hard. Some people are just going to feel locked into certain spots. I imagine we're going to see a lot of blood.
Yeah, you can get quartered in double board,
Oh, yeah.
similar to high-low games.
You can also just get in a spot where you've got a really good hand on both boards, but two other guys have better hands, you know, and they split the pot and you get nothing. That can happen for sure. Here's Wheel with kings, but there's only one king left in the deck, and if he doesn't spike it, can't feel that good.
And that's a pretty coordinated board.
Yep.
3-5 for Dan Ross is a slightly interesting hand on this board.
Jackie with top pair. Youngblood with overs in the gutter. Will is going to try and protect his kings.
Is he? Yes, he is.
Thomas with the open ender, but not anything else going on. Probably can't call profitably here.
With 2 clubs, you'd be too worried about having 6 outs only and often chopping when you hit them.
Yep. Also, with all those people behind him, there could be raises incoming. Will just takes it down, shows the kings. Wow, 5-3 even just folds because of the clubs. It's also pretty early, so it's possible there's going to be an abundance of caution. I wonder if the players are going to loosen up with some of their flop calls as we go, if they're going to stay this tight.
Yeah, I mean, I understand an abundance of caution. You're playing a 3-4 hour session that's all bomb pots, including many double board bomb pots and Omaha bomb pots. Like, you could go through $20,000 in this game if you really wanted to, I think.
I mean, you can almost always find reasons not to fold as soon as we start to get to double boards, if you want to. And so you're going to have some discipline for sure. So far, we've really seen players with discipline. But it is early, and we know that early on, players have more discipline than later on.
Except for
in
the first
sessions.
hand, by the way, in which Youngblood and Wheel both bluffed, kind of randomly.
But they were bluffing. They weren't calling, at least.
True.
But you make a fair point all the same. Top and bottom for Digital Dan. Top pair for Jackie. Wheel with the gutter. Thomas with a pair and a gutter.
Wheel's got more equity than I would have expected with that gutter. I guess he also has the best diamond draw if the diamond comes in the turn.
Yeah, that must be part of it. Also, if the 8 comes, he wins this. He beats all the other 7s. In this case, Thomas. So,
Lets it go, though, which is understandable for sure.
yeah.
Quick note on the equities. Once we get to double board, we're going to have the equities for players still up, but those are just going to be for the top board. The bottom board doesn't have RFID on it, so we're going to figure that one out a la carte.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, so that means you're literally, once we get to double board, which we're coming up on pretty soon, you're only going to see graphically represented even just the top board.
Yes.
So just know that going in. Don't freak out. We're going to do our best to keep showing you both boards as best we can with our camera people. We'll see how that goes. We're going to do our best to keep track of what all the cards are.
We evolved faster than the software did, Jonathan.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's humans for you, man. You can't keep life down. You know, it always finds a way. Every
And then
Jurassic Park movie.
it ends up killing itself. We are the great filter, Jonathan. The poker guys are the great filter.
I like that. Sounds cool. Jack 7. That's trip jacks for Laminator with a good kicker.
Yeah, he's got a hammerlock on this unless Dan Ross has something, because there's nobody with a spade draw.
It's really for Dan Ross right now. It's also just pocket 7s or another jack.
Yeah, ace jack or jack 7.
Oh, and
Oh, and it's jack 7. Oh my goodness.
All right, let's see how tight people are going to play right now.
Wow. That
Dan-
was not staged.
Of course not.
We had no idea that Dan Ross actually had the nuts.
This is pretty interesting. He decides to just call, probably because he's crushing the board so hard.
Hoping for a spade to come, I imagine.
I wonder if Laminator's already going to slow down or not now. He does have a great kicker. He probably should bet again, trying to get value.
Probably. The thing for any jack on this board that's not a full house is you're afraid of literally every card if it doesn't make you a full house.
Yep.
That's the nature of bomb pots.
Indeed. Looks like Dan is giving him the bad news right here. And will Laminator stick around?
At this point, you can't beat any value. You can beat Dan Ross turning a combo draw or something. Oh, and there's the chop.
But Laminator did call, by the way. It looked like it was just a min raise anyway by Dan. And now it just sucks for Dan to get backdoored into a chop there. Of course, the king would have been worse.
Where'd you think you were at?
Now, I know the immediate thought is Dan Ross is, shit, that sucks. This is terrible. Should he try to bluff Laminator off of a chop there? Dan has so many more queens in his range than Laminator. Dan's the guy with queen jack in his range more, since Laminator did not 3-bet the turn.
Dan has queen, and queen jack, and Laminator really doesn't have those hands, right? Or I guess he has much less. That's an interesting question. At the same point, you're beating pocket 7s, and it's never calling.
I mean, there's one combo.
Talk to us in an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true. There's only one combo. I mean, it will probably work, right? If you fire again.
You just have to get super unlucky and have Laminator have queen jack and have not 3-bet the turn.
Right. That's a pretty interesting thought. Yeah, that probably is going to work, right?
Yeah.
Bombs downtown.
Bomb pots are still relatively new. People are not playing them, at a super high level anywhere because people haven't figured them out yet. They haven't been solved or anything that I'm aware of.
Wonka's trying to solve them.
He's trying to solve everything.
Plastered our house with bomb pop math 2 years ago at the World Series of Poker.
Yes, he did.
Turn.
Looks like a whole lot of one pair for people here. And it checks through as a result.
I like shots.
That forgives Thomas a pair to go with his gutter. And Youngblood's betting top pair. It is good right now.
God, I knew I shouldn't have played that.
Kind of think this is just going to get through.
We don't care.
Youngblood must be like a rapper or a DJ, right?
Nick, that was a party foul.
Why can't he just be an accountant?
Hi, this is your CPA, Youngblood. I just need to get a copy of your W-2.
If his last name was Youngblood, you wouldn't say a damn thing.
That's true. You're right.
Joel Youngblood. Yes, I'm here to look at your taxes. Go over your receipts with you. Welcome, Mr. Youngblood. It's nice to see you again.
But his name is Y-U-N-G space B-L-U-D.
If his name was Lil Youngblood, I would agree with you, but I think he could.
Not all rappers are Lil. There's a subset of rappers that are Lil,
Yeah,
but not all rappers are Lil.
right. But do you think he would be? Which
He looks normal size to me.
Yeah,
is happening.
sure.
That's what all this.
We're definitely wrapping up our single board situation here. And in fact, this is the first of the double boards. Get ready,
All right.
everyone.
Here we go. So 8-10, pretty interesting for Laminator with an up and down draw on the bottom board and top pair.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
pretty
big monster there. Laminator and Dan Ross both with the 10-8.
Nobody else has anything that interesting.
Laminator has the backdoor clubs on the bottom as well. So he's free rolling Dan Ross a little bit.
10-8 is a great hand to have on this double board situation. You block a lot of stuff on the top board. You're not expecting to win it at showdown necessarily, and in the bottom board you have the draw to the nuts, which is nice.
But it's one of those spots where you could put a lot of money in right now. And
Yeah.
you see Dan Ross raises right away. And it wouldn't be shocking if they just got it in, but Laminator decides to call instead. That's a heart. Well, brick. Scary, too. I wonder if Dan Ross can fire again, though.
This
that
is
heart comes.
definitely a spot where a semi-bluff could take it down.
Yep. But that heart is just too scary.
They both have 10 high on the bottom and just top pair on a scary board on top.
Either player could probably win this with a bet, but they both may think they have just a little too much showdown value. And there's the check. And once again, these guys chop. Could have been a big pot.
Just chopping all night, Ross?
Another element making this a bit more of a high variance game than we normally have is where it says bomb pot poker there. That bomb is not just like a logo on the table. That is a real bomb.
Yeah.
It's going very slowly. We got a one of those wicks for the bombs that go really slow, so that it could last a while, a couple episodes even.
It's also one of those wicks, like one of those birthday candles where it relights. So even if you blow it out, you give it a second, it just
Yeah, there's no way to get
ignites
away.
again.
Also, the door is locked, so there's no escape.
These guys are chained to their chairs. I mean, this is basically Saw.
Yeah.
They both had open-ended.
So looks like we got a few technical things to work out. That's going to happen when you're doing a double board bomb pot show for the first time in history.
It's expected.
I think we have to understand there's going to be a moment or two of issue. In fact, one of the things they have to do with the software, I know, after every double board is assign the pots, because normally the software would just give the pot to whoever won the
Right.
hand. The software still thinks one person won the hand, when in fact, if it's a split pot, they have to assign the chips the other way. So there's always going to be a little pause anyway after one
Shouldn't
of
have
these.
been an issue there though, because the players had the same hand. But
Right, but
I don't know.
only... Oh, in that case, you're right. It shouldn't have been an issue at all. That's a really good point. Well, I guess other things were in play. Who knows? Let's get back to double board hold'em.
maybe Evelyn needed a sandwich.
I mean, I always need a sandwich, so I understand that. Top pair for Wonka. The ace 10 of clubs. Ooh, top pair in both spots for Wonka.
That's pretty good.
Thomas has hearts, which is a great flop actually for him on the bottom. As you see, he's got a pair and a flush draw.
Right, but not a. He's got 2 back doors on the top board, which is interesting, but not amazing.
Yeah, it should be enough. Jackie decides to bet her 6 deuce, which is a deuce on both boards. Wonka is so far ahead of her, it's a little scary.
It's not fair.
I can't imagine Thomas can fold. I can't imagine Wonka can fold.
Thomas is obscured behind all those hands. He's there, we think.
Maybe he's a little Thomas.
He might be, although he also looks normal sized.
So will Wonka put in a raise right now with top pair in both spots? He often is going to have the best hand, at least on one board. Turns out it's currently on both.
He'll have the opportunity to potentially bluff somebody off of a hand in the future also that is winning on one of the boards.
Sure, that's right.
You're stepping on my mic cord.
Oh,
Get a 2-pair hand to fold.
Why does my hip keep jiggling?
He's almost always ahead in one spot unless he's up against pocket deuces. Jackie put in that little feeler bet and folds. Youngblood with the ace-4. I guess he has a gutter in one spot and top pair in another, but I don't really see how he's going to be able to stick around. But he does. He calls. Wow. He's dreaming of big things here. I guess Thomas just has to call the Jack-8 of hearts here, right? Does he?
Youngblood also has the backdoor nut flush draw on the top board.
Yeah. Thomas does let it go, and maybe that's right. You can be. I guess you could just be crushed
Yeah,
in all ways.
you really could.
3 rounds of betting.
It's a weird spot, man. All right, Wonka in great shape right now. Dodges the 3 up there, and perfect run out so far for Wonka here.
Youngblood does pick up the gut shot on the bottom board as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
But it was pretty funny.
a 4 or a 3 up top, a 4 or a 5 on the bottom are Youngblood's only outs.
Some chips sitting there in front of Wonka. Is that his last bet?
340 total.
Looks like
It seems like it
is.
must be. I think they leave their bets in front of him because they assume there's going to be a lot of chops, like an Omaha high-low type spot. Yeah.
That is reasonable.
But right now, we are not looking at a chop. And can Youngblood call again? He cannot.
That's a nice pot for Wonka.
It's a really nice bet for Wonka on the turn, where I think a lot of players might just check it back. But Wonka, in good shape in both boards, feels like he's almost always okay.
Yeah.
If he gets raised, maybe he folds. But
The whole time he's like,
has to charge the draw.
It's really tough to make near the nuts on both boards and hold them.
Yeah, in that case, it would have been pocket deuces was the best hand to have there. Where you
Yep.
get- make a set on both boards, but
don't have all these free
really
draws.
tough, like you're saying.
Right. That's a good point.
Now, the easiest way to do that is when the nuts is a straight or a flush and you have that straight or nut flush.
Sure.
And it's on both
And
of
it's
them.
on both. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be a flush a lot more than a straight.
Yeah.
But also not going to come up very often.
Yeah.
The very first hand of it we played, I folded the nuts.
I'm not at all worried about the double board Omaha, Jonathan. I'm not worried at all.
Good, you shouldn't be.
I think there will be no technical difficulties.
There aren't going to be any technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, you got bluffed
And
out
that's that.
twice.
I'm calling it.
Yeah, I folded the nuts the first hand. On the
All right,
flop,
well,
and
top
then
2 for
got bluffed
Laminator on the
next 2.
bottom. Wheels got a jack
You have to be really
for
mad.
on the top. Youngblood with top pair on the top.
Laminator's hand is interesting because he has top 2 and he's got the gut shot on top.
Yeah, Laminator's got what feels like the best of it now. Again, ignore the equities because they're not taking into account the bottom board because the software is just not built for that. Not yet.
Wheel does have top pair and middle pair. Is it good enough to continue with so many players behind?
I guess not. You probably want to have some. I guess he's got the backdoor nut flush draw on top also. He's got a backdoor straight draw on the bottom. It's close. Having the button may be just enough to keep him around.
Yeah.
It doesn't work
No,
well
we
as
didn't.
4 cards.
That's how we made it up.
Thomas gets out of the way. Wonka
Tried
folds.
6, and then we
Dan Ross lets it go.
Pretty sure we're going to be heads up here.
at first, yeah.
Unless Youngblood decides to call. He does not.
You guys don't think you're the only ones playing.
Good spot here for Laminator.
Can't have that shit.
That's a heart. And that looks like it brings a second club on the bottom.
Currently, we're chopping. I don't know if Wheel can continue calling at this point.
I don't see how he can. I mean, you think about what hand is beating you on both boards. It's not too much. It's like ace-king is beating you on both boards.
Yeah?
That's about it. Ace-ace is beating you on both boards. King-king is beating you on both boards. I guess queen-queen.
Ace jack of spades. Or is that a club, the 4? on the bottom.
No, it's a club.
Ah, I
Yeah,
see.
there's no. And in fact, he does call. That is a deuce of spades on the river. So that's a scary run up for both players. I'd be surprised if we see any more bets. I guess Wheel could decide to bluff, but Laminator's hand is a little too good on the bottom, excuse me, to bluff. Wheel with the king of hearts really has a spot where, oh, he's got the nut flush on top. Excuse me. Does he just check the nut flush on top?
Check while having his bitch ass.
Apparently he does.
That's weird. It's not the nuts because 3-4 hearts is the nuts, but
But you're guaranteed half the pot, basically.
I think he absolutely is required to fire on
Yeah.
that spot. I guess he thinks he's got top pair on the bottom too, but then he could be betting for value. Why not
Yeah.
just bet for value here?
Or maybe you're losing on the bottom and Laminator will fold sometimes.
Exactly, like you're free rolling the
Yeah.
bottoms, like half the pot. If
Yeah.
you take a shot here, feels like a mandatory fire when you've got
It
effectively
does.
the nuts on top.
Now, there's a lot to process in these double board bomb pots. Maybe people have a little bit of a struggle. And
Yeah.
since we're on camera here, they feel obligated to act a little faster than they otherwise would.
Maybe. I mean, also the thing is this: if you're losing on top to the 3-4 of hearts exactly, you're winning on the bottom with top pair.
Yeah.
So you always have half the pot
True.
guaranteed.
That's
so
true.
you have to bet.
You do.
He could just go all in and be like, figure it out, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's you're totally right.
But again, I only just figured that out now. It's possible Wheel hasn't figured that out
Yeah.
until he heard me say it. So. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I personally have never actually played double board.
Me either. Oh, I have actually. That's not true, but I haven't played it very much.
Oh, this'll be
It
our
is
first
very popular in the Pacific Northwest, specifically in the Portland area.
one they can complain
All right, here we go again. Top pair for Wonka. Wonka with a 10 in both spots. Nobody with an ace. Gutter for Jackie. Open ender for Youngblood. Gutter for Laminator.
No monsters here.
Not yet.
Interns are
And it checks through.
not working.
Brittany doesn't seem that bold.
It's a second club. And
Youngblood
Not the first word I'd use to describe.
gets an open ender on top to go with his open ender on the bottom.
yeah, not bad for a Youngblood. He should probably be firing at this when everyone's checking so much, but it looks like it's just going to check through again.
The turn river.
There's the 9, so that's one straight for Youngblood. Looks like Wonka with a 10 is going to take down the... No, Dan Ross will trip kings
Yep.
for the bottom.
But yeah, Youngblood needs to take a shot at this to try to get some value out of the top board at least.
Yeah, he's got the nuts on top. You'd hate to get quartered, but I guess you can't really get quartered. If someone has the nuts with you, they can only split the pot with you, so...
Much more likely to get quartered in the Omaha double board bomb pot.
The only way you get quartered, I guess, if someone else has the nuts and then another person gets all in with you or puts a lot of chips in with a strong bottom, with a bottom out of any kind, really.
Yeah.
By the way, Dan Ross just folded his trip kings there. No kicker was not good enough for him.
Also 3 spades. Straight came in.
Wait a second. Looks like there was a call.
Ah.
He wasn't playing both boards.
So you were wrong then.
No. I think Wonka called, though, with the 10s on both boards.
Ah, I see.
So Wonka and Youngblood split that pot, but not a big pot anyway.
We're gonna edit that.
Yeah, so anyway, with the getting quartered thing, the Omaha double board bomb pots are where you're going to see people get quartered.
Sorry, young blood.
No
I'm
question.
The OG here.
He's got the charts to prove it.
Wonka went into serious bluff catching mode there. Really needs no one to call behind him
Yeah.
when he calls.
Do you think
There had been so little action. No action at all,
I
so...
never saw them, but they're much.
I guess it was also pretty cheap, so if he's wrong, it's not that big
Yeah.
a deal.
They were,
Let's just test him.
there's a decent chance
Make
they were
sure.
the most in-depth
They
analysis of
should,
bomb
they
pots.
should end up in the Smithsonian
point.
once holdem goes away and bomb pots take over.
All right, here we go again. Put on your seatbelts.
Stuff in storage.
Couple 10 deuces out there. That's exciting.
Well, there's a 10. That's the case 10, in fact.
Similar boards.
No one has an ace.
Laminator has a king
Is that real?
for the bottom board.
Indiana Jones thing?
Gut shot for Wonka on top only. Not a whole lot for people on this one.
Ark of the Covenant is in the Smithsonian, but I can't. I have not researched.
Laminator betting 50 with his king, and that is the best hand.
Surprising to let 8 people see the flop for the same price and have 2 flops and have nobody flop anything of real value.
How many
Yeah,
times have you
just
taken
a middle pair.
Zero.
-1.
Well, there are only 2 aces left, I guess, when 2 of them flop. So
Sure.
You don't ever take shots?
I've never taken a shot.
Laminator just...
This is the first time.
I like how Laminator bets, though, because he does deny equity by doing so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's probably just going to check fold otherwise, but
Crazy, considering
Yeah.
you're
anytime people don't have an ace, it's really hard to stick around.
Not even on that lady.
It's only a shot if you-
No.
I don't even know if that's a good bet, but it seems like a good bet without thinking about it much. It's just hard to know.
It is very hard. This is not a solved game.
No one's written any articles about this that I'm aware of. But that makes it fun, too. That makes it great.
Did you say fuzzy?
Two suited connectors out there.
Peachy.
Well, one and change.
Drop of fish sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Diamonds for wheel.
I gotta look at them though.
And a backdoor straight draw 2 ways.
Pretty good.
Oh, some clamato.
There's trip 8s for Thomas.
I don't know, it looked pretty gross.
Yep, he's the only one with trip 8s or anything really that good on the bottom. Laminator does have a deuce for the bottom and the top.
It was dark colored.
So it's like a
Probably not
Yeah, it's just
much. I guess if Laminator can get heads up, he'll sometimes win half the pot, but probably not a great spot. He's losing to pocket 3s in both
Yeah.
both areas. So
But besides
anyway,
that,
Thomas bets his trip 8s, and
snobs.
I don't know if anyone's going to be able to stick around here. Yeah, Jackie just folds top pair easily,
used to know
I was
bartender,
promised
that's
blood. Where is all the blood?
and
It will come.
wheel, I guess, with the flush draw could decide to stick around, but isn't there anything else going on?
They take a shot.
It's a little tricky. I mean, he does have backdoor straight draws on the bottom as well. I guess that helps a little.
He does call. Ooh, he turns a 5, which may keep him around a little bit longer. Give him a little bit of hope.
The board pairing on the top board is not good news for wheel, though.
Yeah, I expect Thomas probably will fire again with his trip 8s and all the different action that's going on here.
Thomas is incentivized to fire in a pretty big way because he's never going to win the top almost.
Right.
Although it turns out he is currently winning the top somehow.
Yeah, we'll just.
Yeah. Do they have a teardrop?
I don't know what I should do.
I don't think so. Not him, but.
Ah, well done.
We'll decide to waste everyone's time a little bit by showing one card.
The 5 of diamonds, which is, I assume, is what he showed, which is going to just reveal way too much about his hand for him to continue in the hand.
Well, he was never going to continue as soon as he showed that.
Yeah.
In a double board palm pot, hold them to show one card just seems suicidal.
It does.
I'm loving this hold them double board stuff. I got to tell you, I'm pretty into it.
There's interesting strategic elements there.
And it's not overwhelming like the Omaha is going to be.
Oh, we're going to be fine.
I know.
It's going to be so easy.
I mean, for the viewer, not
Right.
for us. We're going to handle it like pro gymnasts,
Yep.
you know, contorting our way through.
Just call me Dominique Mokanishu. I don't remember her name.
What just happened?
Dominique, what's her name?
It ain't that.
What is it?
Mm.
I've been there.
Well, how can you be so like incensed if you don't even know her last name?
Because
Okay, Carrie Strug. Be Carrie Strug. How's that?
Mary Lou Renton.
I like that you.
It's not Dominic Dawes, right?
No.
That's somebody else. Anyway, let's get back to our game here. Queens for Jackie. That's pretty good in a double board spot. Oh,
Except
that ace
that the
doesn't
ace
help.
comes on
That
the
ace
bottom, but
hurts.
nobody has the ace.
Once again, a 7-6, by the way, for Wonka. He's got the nuts on top and a pair on the bottom.
That's
I
a great hand.
expect Wonka to get jiggy with it here. Dan Ross with top pair and a gutter in one spot, middle pair and a back door, and two back doors, in fact, and the other.
Wonka also has a backdoor flush draw on the bottom.
Mm. Dan Ross lets it go.
Youngblood, of course, has a pretty good hand too.
Yeah. And Jackie does call, hoping she's good in at least one spot.
Well, she's not. Well,
mean,
she
she
is.
is.
She is on the bottom, but she won't be.
Nope, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Wonka just zooms ahead in both spots. I got to believe there's another bet. Jackie will not stick around. Youngblood bets. How about that? Wonka still with the nuts up top, and trip 6 is on the bottom.
I guess Youngblood is trying to rep basically Wonka's hand.
Wonka has a board lock here. He's effectively free rolling the table, at least on the turn, if they put a lot of chips in. He can't be losing more than half.
He does just call. I think he's just afraid of chasing Youngblood away.
Yeah. Wow. What a sick river on top for Wonka. It goes from the nuts to scary. Will Youngblood fire again?
I don't see Wonka folding.
No.
He's got to expect to win at least one of these boards.
There's no way Wonka would fold, but he probably wasn't going to raise anymore when that 4 diamonds comes on the river up top.
So how should he size into 530, knowing that he's pretty much going to win at least half the pot and often the whole pot if he gets called?
He can't bet very big because he's trying to not even get called by trip 6s on the bottom, right?
Well, he went all in.
Trying to make it look desperate or something. And the thing is, what hand is desperate there? 7-5.
Youngblood's actual hand.
Yeah. Yeah, Youngblood doesn't clearly had to give up there.
How you been? How you been? Good, Nick. How you been, bro? It's good to see you.
Maybe Wonka thought he would get called with the same frequency if he went all in versus betting 200.
Face mask for nothing.
It can't be that bad to take a shot where you hope someone has a pretty good hand in one spot. Maybe he has a set up top and decides to call or something, you know.
Well, that would be a full house.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah. Right, gosh. Maybe he's got like 6-4, so he's got a full house and trips in both spots or something.
Sure.
Of course, he might just bet that himself.
That's actually a little surprising.
Yeah, you'd think.
It can't be that bad to go all in when you have about a pot-sized bet there, though.
Dre's downstairs going.
It was more than pot size.
Was it much more?
Yeah, it was like twice.
Oh.
If the
That
stack
seems-
sizes are correct.
I assume they are. Then that seems like a lot. Anyway, new hand. We got to move on, people.
That rotation, yeah.
Top pair for Laminator on the bottom and
And-
Wonka.
Yep. Nobody has a king on top.
No one has diamonds.
She's saying the flop isn't.
No straight draws either. Not a lot happening on this particular. I guess Jackie has a gutter. Jackie takes the free card.
Trips now for Dan Ross on the bottom.
Jackie has 2 gutters. So something we're seeing after the first hand of, when we had single board, we saw Youngblood just take a shot and wheel bluff. We haven't really seen too much straight bluffing. In fact, I don't think we've seen any straight bluffing
It's
since.
pretty tough to bluff. You have to have the perfect blockers for it to make sense.
I agree. So somebody bet, and our stats people are trying to figure out if it was Dan Ross.
I would guess it was, considering he has trips on the bottom now.
Yep, it was, and it looks like the hand is over. That makes sense.
And then this guy got the face mask and tried to take you out. Man.
Looks like he bet 150 into 80 also.
Guess he's really hoping someone else has a 7 and feels locked into the hand a little bit.
You can afford to pay
I guess, but he's usually going to lose to them on the top. He had kind of nothing on top.
Yeah,
Jay Inslee shut down all the card rooms.
that's an interesting decision to bet almost twice the pot there
Really?
Couple hours.
with a very strong
No, in Washington.
hand in one spot. I guess he's just trying to take the whole pot instead of only half of it.
Yep. Hey, it's Omaha time. I'm going to
Okay.
guess we're going single board
Single
Omaha.
board Omaha, that's nothing.
That's a nice, easy warm-up.
Yeah,
Just a quick warm-up.
get all you guys used to what we're going to be doing here, and then we're going to go advanced after an orbit into double board Omaha, which is it's going to be
It's going to be easy. Don't worry.
just bring oxygen. That's what I'll say.
Sibling that gets
Yeah.
Wiggle it just a little bit.
the youngest sibling that gets
crazy
stuffed into
though?
a van.
This is where the blood may really be shed,
4 cards.
Is it working?
much like Thermopylae.
4 cards.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Everyone knows what you're saying.
Huh?
Good flop for Jackie on top anyway.
There is
Oh,
only
there's-
top.
oh, and that's it. So she's got the nut flush draw and a gutter
Don't
right
ever
away.
Look at him.
Ever.
Is that what you're saying?
Laminator with what looks like a good hand, the overpair and the second nut flush draw,
and then just
but
one amount.
a little dangerous.
Little dangerous in this setting, yes.
I think and also Youngblood with hearts and a gutter. Not a gutter, sorry, just hearts.
Digital Dan has an open ender in tens, but that's not so good in this particular spot.
Put it in the
Yeah.
box.
You can see though how some money could really get in here pretty easily if people are even a little bit loose with their calls.
Yep. And Thomas does have bottom 2 for the current best hand.
Yeah, Youngblood of course with an overpair to the 3 and the 4 anyway. Not really an overpair.
Jackie wants a triple shot.
I think Thomas might need school.
It's 100 for Digital Dan. This is probably the trickiest spot, but probably just can't call, right?
No, I don't think there's enough cards that help you.
Too many bad ones.
Yeah.
You're sometimes chopping even when you get there. Or you get, beat on the river even when you get there on the turn.
And he has 2 players to act behind. There's a lot of types of hands on this board that could feel pretty emboldened to raise.
Yep. Jackie's is one, but she decides to call.
Yeah.
Youngblood, will he call with the 8 high flush draw? It's Omaha.
Probably shouldn't. Yeah.
How about that?
Sucks.
I was gonna say you're like 50-50.
They're just blockers.
It's a really nice starting hand in Omaha, by the way.
It is.
If we're pre-flop, you would feel pretty happy about it.
And Laminator now, feeling probably pretty good. If a heart comes in, watch out, buddy.
You haven't thrown up in this version of Portland Meadows yet.
Well, we're just fixing the action apparently. Because, that's a thing that needs to happen sometimes.
Evelyn is. She
Here we go.
spilled a little bit of mayonnaise from the sandwich on the keyboard.
Okay, here we go. 9 of diamonds. So that gives Laminator now more ways to win. Any 10 that is not a heart will do it for him.
It says Youngblood's in the hand. He is not.
Pause or not?
Right. It's Laminator and Jackie,
Austrian.
we think.
He hasn't gone yet, though, I don't
Yeah,
think.
but Austria doesn't have WizKids.
And there's a band.
There, oh, that's because Youngblood is. They're going to fold them out. Here we go.
He went.
We make it to the
I
turn
don't think he's gone yet.
officially, according to the software.
He's in Pennsylvania.
Which is now the flop. So the 9 of diamonds came on the turn. That's
Right.
what's confusing
Oh,
about
I
it.
see.
Buy
Yeah.
them from us.
Looks like a $300 bet by Laminator.
There's
No.
a ban on,
He wasn't there.
I don't think Jackie can fold.
Evelyn got 300. Whatever.
It says there's 1.1k in the pot. That doesn't seem right either.
I think it's a full-on
Thomas
travel
is it?
ban unless you have
She
some
raising? No, those are
That's a
green
call,
chips.
yeah.
Green chips. Okay.
you know, like
Well, Laminator's queens right now are best and are going to be best.
hate to ask stupid questions on these.
I assume he's going to check this a lot because now he just has queens, and then we'll see if Jackie decides to take a shot at him.
Jackie could have plenty of combos that contain a 4. And she's
Absolutely.
probably not folding those. Unless Laminator. I mean, it says Jackie only has 280 left. Also,
That's not.
looks untrue.
It doesn't seem true. It looks
Yeah.
like there's a mistake and all that. The pot is way too big. It
Yeah.
says it's 1.7k. And there's no way that's right. So they screwed that up. But interesting, Jackie did not decide to take a shot only because, as you're saying, she's got actually a bunch of full houses there. She's got all like the bottom 2 pair. and
True.
I'm adding
2 pair
5
combos
to
that turn
the-
into full houses. This is something we're seeing mostly is people checking the river when scare cards come. And maybe they should, and like you were saying before with Dan Ross, maybe they should be betting and just bluffing rivers to get off
Well,
chops. And
when they have a clear range advantage, sure.
sure.
I think that situation with Dan Ross kind of demanded it
Yeah.
due to the like imminent chop. If he didn't,
And probably that was a pretty good spot for Jackie too.
Probably,
like
yeah.
looking back, where she really does have a lot of full houses. She doesn't have the sets, but she's got the other ones, and it's Omaha, bomb pots. Of course, she has all of the combos.
That's how talking
They
sticks
think that's the
started.
way to get around the rules.
Yeah, that's
She could have that with hearts even. There's lots of ways that she makes it to the river, and then ends up with a full house.
I feel like that's not going to work for
But-
very long because if it's an executive order, it's pretty easy to make.
So it looks like they have rejiggered
Jackie
Jackie's stack to have it be correct now.
You touch your bike.
But he did.
That's good to
close
see.
Restaurants.
Deuce 3 5 6 for Thomas. Kind of a fun Omaha hand. Let's see how it goes.
Not really.
I said kind of fun.
Well, Dan Ross flops
The super
the
nuts.
super nuts, and it's already over. He's already locked it up. There's no way for anyone to win.
Nobody's got the backdoor royal draw or the backdoor wheel draw. So yeah, it's over.
And no one can. What about running deuces for quads?
I
For
guess
Wonka. Oh, there's a deuce in someone's hand.
there's
that's
the
why.
deuce in 2 other people's
Yeah,
hands. in
that's
fact.
why. Even that makes it. That's crazy. In an Omaha bomb pot to win on the flop.
I don't think he can get called either,
No.
which is
He's hoping to have anyone having the case ace and
Yeah.
get the action, or maybe even I guess once in a while pocket kings. But certainly no one can call right now. He might show it. It's so good.
that's disappointing.
Yeah. Well, good job. You don't have to chop the pot with anyone, Dan Ross.
Yeah,
Wait for me. Don't.
that was a sick burn.
You know what they say about Dan Ross, right?
His head is backwards.
Wins all the tiny pots. Tiny pot Dan.
Oh, I thought it was his hand is back. His head is
Oh,
backwards.
they say both those things.
Okay.
In fairness,
Did they give Jackie's triple shot of it?
Yeah, I got it.
Lamner showing his pandemic mustache. About the same as his non-pandemic mustache.
It's great. Thanks for pointing that out.
You know,
Yum yum.
he's keeping it real.
Yes.
Keeping it 100.
That's what they used to say in 2014.
Keep it 100.
Yeah.
I think they're still saying it.
Yeah, you would
They're
think
saying it
that.
on TikTok.
TikTok's a myth.
That won't happen again.
Tell that to the. All right, I'm just gonna leave it. I was gonna go play.
Generation Z is a myth.
Getting stacked.
Oh shit.
Let's see the flop.
Top pair for the digital one.
I guess I'm the one who doesn't.
The laminator with Jack 733 somehow has 37% because he
Open-
has the flush draw.
Open ender for Thomas, and top pair. No, not top pair. Sorry, middle pair for him as well. Wheel with a pair and a gutter, and it checks through.
You will
That
never
3,
do anything, Jack.
it's got to help someone. It
It
helps
helps-
Thomas.
It helps the laminator too.
It does. Oh, Lammer's got a full house, and so does Thomas. Okay.
Yep, but laminator's got a flush draw to go with his full house, which doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, the reason why the equities aren't the same, of course, is because they can still hit cards to make different full houses. Thomas can hit a king Laminer can hit a 7.
And he's cannibalizing his own 7. Youngblood's got 3 9s and an 8. He's going to take a long time and
Wow. he
call.
calls.
Wow.
And that is just the worst when you make a very marginal call and immediately get comfortably raised by the guy on your left.
Now, I don't know anything about Youngblood. Is it possible that he thinks he has trips? Is that a possibility?
I don't have an answer. I don't know. I would be surprised. He made the fold of the early on with the 9-8 of hearts or 7-8 of hearts.
Yeah,
in the spot.
it's
So I
just
don't think
it's
so.
just a very surprising call.
That is a very surprising call. He just didn't believe Thomas, I guess is what it was, and now he gets the very bad news. Thomas' hand just a little too good to fold, but
Yeah,
it
but
sucks.
He doesn't love it. He's got bottom full house. It is often in trouble, and that is just a card that's going to kill everything,
Yep.
of course. And they quickly check,
Same hand.
and they both make about $70. Congratulations, guys.
I like.
Youngblood made the pot a little bit bigger for him.
Yeah.
I believe.
Raise forward jack.
I have
Those sunglasses Will is wearing, those are tinted blue, I think.
Just like his dreamy eyes. That's what everyone says.
The interns really do have a thing for that guy.
Yeah, it's weird.
The talk around the HQ offices, the Poker Guys HQ offices, among the interns about Wheel, it's like they're constantly a Twitter with
It's
that guy.
it's a bit too much, you know.
I mean, how many times have we said at a meeting, guys, enough with the wheel talk, we have to focus.
Yeah.
I mean, like multiple times that's been said.
That's true.
I was like,
But they just,
I'm
wow.
like standing up if you're getting
They've
ready
got-
to do
He's got the Kavorka.
Oh, here we go.
That's right. That took me a second, but
Yeah.
he does have the Kavorka.
I saw Jonathan and Grant did some.
If anybody at this table has the Kavorka, Wheel has the
Yeah,
Kavorka.
that's obvious.
Obviously.
I mean, we see his impact on an almost daily basis
Live stream?
on our staff.
I don't know how they negotiate.
Yeah, it's like James Franco's at the table. I mean, it's crazy. All right, Wonka with queens, Dan Ross with ace king, Jackie with aces, but
Jackie
there's no
with
aces
a
left.
Jackie with just a monster hand.
Yeah,
Most of us.
But-
Single suited as well, but there are 2 8s on that board, which
No
we
longer
haven't
feel good
seen
about.
any yet.
right now Jackie still has the best hand,
Wheel looks at him correctly.
but there's still 8 cards to go. You can't feel good about it with even these over-prepared type hands like Wonka and Jackie.
What?
am I spreading it good enough?
Oh, 2 8s in Wheel's hand.
Wow.
Is it working?
So once we get the board there, we're going to see that
Is action
the interns are going to be happy after this one.
I'm busy
Shot clock
spreading.
him.
Because Wheel has quads.
Yeah, I guess it could come running queens. I think that's the only way Wheel loses at this point. I guess there's a few other 1%ers out there.
Need help?
Running 9s will do it.
Wheel bets $20. That should get some action, right?
I mean, is Jackie just going to fold aces for a $20 bet?
I don't think Thomas should fold.
Thomas does fold. Let's
Queens
see.
fold.
I mean, Jackie in theory could call just to try and spike an ace.
Yeah.
There are no aces left, but she doesn't know that.
She also has an open ender, by the way. She can't fold.
Oh, wow. I mean, for $20, I guess she just can't. I'm sure in her mind, as soon as a big bet comes, she's out. But
Looks like Youngblood called as well
yeah,
with
Of course.
ace,
ace,
some
3,
backdoor spades.
deuce. Ambitious, this Youngblood.
Yes. Well,
The perfect.
we'll see if he can make it. It's not going to work this time. We'll see if he can make it work at some point.
Wheel does check, hoping that king helps somebody.
Other than T.
I love it.
Will Jackie call after that check? That check may be a little confusing to Jackie. She may be worried about Youngblood behind her. Though, too.
It's a tough spot with aces. I think typically it's a fold, but you can talk yourself into calling. I could see talking myself into calling.
Yeah.
Imagine the jukebox piped up.
Pay no attention to the man behind the
We're looking at Youngblood. Has Jackie already folded? Is that what's going on? Yeah, it looks like she
Yeah.
has. I can't even tell.
Or
if
she
Jackie-
already called, one of the
Yeah,
two.
looks like she folded. Yeah,
Got him.
he's just showing because it's always fun to show quads.
I don't know how to play.
Glad I didn't
I wouldn't know.
Oh damn,
Good, no spike.
that was so
With 105.
intense.
Yeah, like, oh, I run so bad, bro.
You got to say things like "must be nice."
Must be nice.
Yeah, there you go. That was good.
Batiste classic.
My mask
There's no
fogging up.
room on the board.
Every angsty poker player classic, really.
I actually had a good hand. It's just couldn't get quads.
This metal piece is falling off.
Oh, you flopped a set. Must be nice.
You do that shit with me in our little internet home game. You always say, "Oh yeah, Grant just flops some nuts. Must be easy."
It's super fun to say stuff like that.
Yeah,
I do that actually on Attorney Journey even.
you do.
Yeah. I always act like you're just running super good and that's the only reason why you like win the tournament. It's part of my shtick.
It's really excellent.
I was like,
And they said no.
when I have cards,
Yeah.
but
I
400
love my
when I
other
have a
card.
bubble.
King, queen, queen, 10 for Wonka.
Yeah. Double suited. Not double suited, single suited, but still pretty. Thomas
But-
with a nice one too.
We do have the ace high flop.
Yeah. Hearts for Thomas. Hearts for Dan
Can you
Ross.
see cards on top of
Hearts for Wheel.
what the?
All the aces are out there.
It's on
Oh.
or pausing.
A lot of people have reason to be at least somewhat interested in this
I think it
board.
needs to come
Yeah.
closer.
And no one has a reason to be wildly interested unless the Liminator's got something very strong. So we may just get it checked around and
Spread in the box.
could be some Armageddon if certain cards come.
Box is too small.
Wait a second. The board is entirely different. What happened?
Okay, I guess that was that the last board? Anyway, this is the board apparently we're playing with now.
Oh, the last board wheel had quads. so.
Digital Dan bets Ace Jack 8-4. It must be the original board.
No, he's got the nut flush draw.
Oh, okay, good. Thomas has a set of sevens then.
Nope. Oh wait, that was Youngblood.
Yeah, Thomas has sevens. Okay, well this could be some action here.
Thomas raised to 120.
As we look at Digital Dan's Johnny Cash mask.
Nick folds. Ross folds.
He's wearing way too much white. By the way, this whole corner is white. You're wearing a Johnny Cash mask and you're not wearing black. Seems wrong. Anyway, Thomas raises a set.
Small raise.
Yep. Digital Dan certainly not going to fold the nut flush draw here. Decides to call. Could put Thomas in a really tough spot with a re-raise, but of course we understand why he might choose not to do that. Dan picks up a gutter now.
It's nice.
Going to be really tough to fold.
Thomas picks up an open ender, by the way.
Come on, Nick.
Wow.
Good.
So much happening.
3 to 1.
Dan checks again. And how to size this is Thomas? What do you think? I think kind of chunky, right?
It's more interesting.
250?
Are we bet folding though? Because Dan could easily have a straight on this board.
I don't think we can bet fold. We have so many redraws.
What if he raises really big?
Well, there's always a size I guess we could feel forced to fold. But assuming normal sizing, I don't think we can do it, especially in position.
Starting a grad program in Austria.
We also only have 1K left as Thomas. Maybe we can't fold.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think we're just going to have to call it off, actually.
Meanwhile, Dan's in a spot where it feels like calling is kind of the only option.
Yeah.
Thomas seems pretty strong, betting in a bomb pot twice.
Close to Germany.
Raising
board.
and then
Yeah.
betting the turn even.
Right, raising and betting the turn.
I agree.
But Dan's got a draw to the nuts and another draw to a good straight.
Yep. I like this. Just pay to see the card and
Well,
Thomas-
Thomas improves, although he doesn't love the card.
yeah.
Wear that camel hoodie, he'll be fine.
It's one of those deals where
You can get away with really stupid outfits.
I don't know if he can. I don't think he can bet.
You know, so yeah, that'll actually help too.
I don't know what he would expect to get called by if he
Yeah.
did bet.
At this
I
point,
can't
4-5,
believe they
a
said I
slow
was
played
wearing
4-5, which might fold anyway.
The set though.
I just shaved. That was all.
Are you serious?
I like this decision just to check it back, win a nice pot.
Thanks. I can't believe you brought
Wow.
You
that.
pulled
Is
it
that
off
hand
pretty
straight?
good though. That's
Ooh,
impressive.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I was like, he has to be wearing makeup. Looks.
You might be seeing all this crazy action and thinking, I want to get in on that. Well, guess what, Jonathan? There is a way at Bomb Pot Poker, the home of online double board bomb pots.
It's the only place, Grant, where you can play a bomb pot every freaking hand, man, just like these guys are.
Right, and they have same-day deposits and withdrawals at the speed of crypto. We have single board, double board, holdem, Omaha High, cash games, and tournaments on Bomb Pot Poker.
Yeah, it's awesome. Everyone loves playing bomb pots. They've swept through like a house of fire in the Pacific Northwest. We think it's probably going to take over the world. If you want to get in on this, you got to go to Bomb Pot Poker. That's the place to play. Every hand of bomb pot.
Slow roll. Omaha slow rolls are
In
the best.
reverse.
And we're back.
Set. And
Yeah.
No.
We are back.
Wonka looks like, last time he looked like a space bandit. Now he looks like a science bandit with those goggles.
He's the same bandit, and he's multi-talented. He can go to space. He can, swing a test tube or two around the lab. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, a lot of space bandits should be good scientists anyway, really. in theory,
I
right?
mean, you can get specialized in space as a warrior.
But you could also just be a scientist who knows how to handle a
You're not
weapon,
gonna respond to
a
that?
space weapon,
She's talking to
some
you.
lasers.
Good point.
I love you, Dan.
Thanks.
But
Like
you're
Star Wars,
supposed to take
like
credit
Luke.
for it anyway.
I love you, Dan.
I know Brittany calls me.
Any hoots.
Oh, wow.
The truth comes out.
Mm.
Check.
We've got club draw for Jackie
And Wonka.
and Wonka. Yeah, he's got 3 of them.
Yeah, Wonka's got the better club draw so far, anyway. 5-6 for Youngblood. That's an open ender, but the bad side of the open ender and no clubs
Only sissies.
does have backdoor diamonds, and he's the one who bets.
Digital Dan with the overpair.
Laminator raises to 300. We don't know what he has.
Yeah, we
Oh, you want me to spread them again?
It's going to clear out the field a bit.
300 raise?
LA, I can
Thomas makes a straight with either a 5 or a 9.
Spreading.
Probably can't call here.
That goes over better than
Wonka's going to have to let go of the queen high flush draw. Laminator with the nut flush draw and top pair. And 2 pair, excuse me.
Yeah,
Top and
that's
bottom.
that's a damn good hand right there.
Yep. Digital Dan just cannot find the call here.
Dan, have you noticed my quick
And-
action?
I was going to say, I thought Youngblood was going to fold, but I would have been wrong.
Youngblood does not seem to fold the flop very much in Omaha.
Oh, this is a card that Laminator did not want to see.
No, this is a very bad card for Laminator, obviously.
One of the absolute worst cards in the deck.
I like.
Still has that nut flush draw at least. That's nice.
Or not.
Oh, it's like a downstairs hand.
It's Wild
And
West
the
for
10 of
me.
hearts is a big nothing for nobody.
In that case.
Youngblood's really got to take a shot at this, I would think.
Yeah, when Laminator checks back the turn, I think you have to take a shot.
He even has the jack to block the nut straight. That 8 is going to play for Laminator and be good.
It's a nice way to make a bunch of money.
That raise gets him the pot, too. If he called, I'm pretty sure Digital Dan would have called that bet and probably would have just won on it checking down with his queens.
Yeah,
I like.
that's a good point.
I like.
Really cleaned up the equity there with that raise.
Limit hold'em style.
The right person out.
Bitch ass LA.
Get some of this.
Get out the winning
Everyone puts
hands,
out
get
the
out
requisite
some
$10. It's not an anti-grant. It's a bomb pot.
You guys playing.
Limit hold'em style.
Anti, of course, would mean we'd still have
Playing
pre-flop
some
action.
Monopoly downstairs.
I'm aware. Thank you.
It's bomb pot grant. No pre-flop action.
Okay, sweet cheeks.
It's not a new episode, Jonathan. There was an ad.
Limit hold'em style.
The catchphrase of the lamest superhero ever.
Thank you for the fold, Dan.
Why would it
Yeah.
be lame?
Is there a lamer form of poker than limit hold'em?
Yes.
I know there is. There's like, limit high low hold'em. That's
You're
a
the
worse.
worst,
That's a
Burr.
worse form.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Hmm.
Anything to change the subject.
'Cause
Well,
I-
that king is going to. 3 different people have kings.
Because I attacked your baby.
Jackie
top
with
and
top and bottom.
Yeah.
Man, I have a problem with spreading.
Two pair for Wonka as well. Bottom 2.
Probably won't get in too much trouble there. Open ender for Laminator. Actually, a wrap for Laminator.
That's a pretty nice hand. We haven't seen a wrap yet.
And it is a rainbow board, so Laminator, very reasonable call there.
That 7, 8, 9, 10 of Thomas is just calls to me as such a cool, fun pre-flop hand. But of course, this is a terrible flop for it.
Yeah, he does have the back door and the gutter to the nuts, but pretty understandable to fold there. It was only 50.
Wonka lets bottom 2 go.
Dan Ross has an easy call for only 50. Jackie has the best hand.
I mean, Wonka folded a better hand than Dan Ross.
Jackie now has a full house and has locked it up.
Wonka's very lucky he did fold because he would have a weaker full house.
Yeah. When it checks through on this turn, which I think it's going to do a lot, or not. Is that 50 again for Youngblood?
Looks like it.
Just a little blocker bet. Dan Ross with the nut flush draw and top. Jackie just calls again. I guess she's just not being cute. She's just trying to protect against.
And that's a bad card now. 5's full is out there.
Yeah. Wonka would have won this pot
Yep.
with the Miracle River. And Youngblood moves all in for 285. Will Jackie find a call.
So this is a bluff, right?
It should be a bluff. It's weird to do it with ace king, but yes, it feels like it has to. But you're only trying to bluff out a 4 exactly. No, I don't think it's a bluff. I think his Jackie only called maybe. He doesn't necessarily think anyone has a 4. How could it be a bluff?
It's an I'm going to call anyway if you go all in, so I might as well try to get value from king queen. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't
If
think Jackie can fold for this price.
It's so cheap. It does really look like you're up against pocket 5s or 5-4 or something like that, but she is getting 2.5 to 1. Does look like you're losing a lot, though, if you're Jackie, when he moves in here into 2 other opponents on this river. And she lets it go.
Wow, that is an auspicious event for Youngblood.
Wow. He's probably lucky he had run out of chips. If he had a real stack behind him, he probably just would have checked that, right?
I would guess.
Although he could have checked it anyway, really. Maybe he would have bluffed it anyway.
It can't be a bluff, right? Can't be. But it can't be value. How can it be value?
Well, it functioned as a bluff. I think it was probably value, but, but it functioned as a bluff.
It's like there's a decent chance.
Really thin.
Trying to fold out exactly aces when you have an ace in your hand, that doesn't seem like a reasonable plan.
Trying to fold out a 4. But,
No.
but it equally doesn't make sense to think that you can get value from anybody.
I agree. It feels like what we would call a game theory disaster, and yet it was not because it folded out a slightly better hand. Folded out the winner. I think Jackie just thought he's never bluffing, and he always has a 5 at that price, you know, when he bets 285 into 710.
Well, that's why you use the price to your advantage and say, well,
Yeah.
I only have to be right 30% of the time.
You worry that, oh, look at Laminator's
Yeah,
hand.
that is quite a hand.
You worry that 30% is just not enough with Omaha bomb
Yeah.
pots, though. Anyone can have anything. It's Omaha bomb pots.
If that 10 in Laminator's hand was a diamond, it would be just so juicy and beautiful.
I know.
And now he really wishes it was.
Yeah, his hand went to crap very quickly. He
I mean,
still
it's-
has aces, but
It's not crap. It's just not the best hand right now.
it's pretty crappy.
Check.
Diamonds for Wonka, as well as top pair, as well as a straight draw. You can see all the equity is in his hand. He does check it, though.
Digital Dan has a couple straight draws working for him.
Youngblood now has top and bottom.
Bet 75.
Double gutter for wheel. As actually, double gutter and another gutter for wheel.
So triple gutter then.
Triple gutter for wheel, that's right. But he lets go of the triple gutter. And 2 diamond, 2 club board makes sense.
Yep. You only have 4, or I guess it'd be 6 outs that you feel okay about.
No bitch ass.
That's a triple gutter. I'm used to doing triple gutter math.
It's understandable. Here's Wonka, and just too good to fold right now. And only $75. And Jackie's going to come along as well with jacks and 5s, which is currently the best hand.
Well, there's a straight.
Wonka gets there in a pretty nice way. It's not the nuts.
200.
Youngblood's going to bet top and bottom again.
That is, as you like to say, ambitious.
And he bets big. It's not even a blocker bet. 2/3 pot.
Well, Wonka's never folding. I don't think he's going to raise.
No, he has a better chance of getting more value by Jackie overcalling than he does by raising and hoping to get called by a worse hand.
Yeah. I guess he could decide that Youngblood only has 430 left and might decide to call off a little light. But I think this is the better play. Jackie folds right away. And she curiously looks on to see what the hell everybody has.
See that Laminator is not a fan of any particular team. He just is a fan of the NBA.
That's like the Rob Lowe
Yeah.
NFL hat.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm a fan of the NBA too.
Yeah, me too.
Let's go Celtics.
Find your
A little late for that.
I'm talking about next year
Ah, okay.
and this year. Go back in time.
Oh, you have one of those.
Have a few things go differently. Games 1 and 2. All right, moving on. Soon, I don't know if we're there yet, but soon we'll be double boarding this baby, and
It's going to be a shit show.
the players are going to struggle, the viewers are going to struggle, and we ourselves may
Hey,
struggle.
check
Here
out-
we go.
Check out this hand for Thomas on the top board.
What?
Wow. What a monster for Thomas.
And actually pretty good on the
Yeah,
bottom board, too.
open-ended on the bottom.
Thomas is crushing this whole situation.
Agreed.
If only he had diamonds as well.
Wonka's got an open-ender as well. No, an open-ender on top and a gutter on the bottom.
Youngblood's got a great hand on both boards, too. He's got the nut flush draw on the bottom with a pair, and he's got the Jack-9 for a pair and draw.
Jackie flopped the nuts on top and has a diamond draw on the bottom, as well as a double gutter on the bottom. She's got a monster.
Wow, everybody's got really big hands here.
Yeah, we should see some huge action. Jackie does raise to 300. I don't see how Thomas can do anything but rock.
What about
and roll.
Youngblood? Youngblood's hand, you could go with this.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, there's a lot going on here. He calls. Wouldn't it be crazy to move in?
He's got top 2 and the nut flush draw on the bottom, and the Jack-9 on that top board isn't so
Yeah.
bad.
No, you're right.
And the King-Jack on the top board, by the way.
By the way, the backdoor diamonds as well with that. You're right. A lot going on here.
These are 3 very good hands.
Thomas moves in, and here we go.
We should see a 3-way all in here. I think that's what we should be seeing.
Jackie can't fold, and you see Youngblood gets it in right away. Thomas is going to be sad to know that he does not have the best hand anywhere right now.
Just needs to pair the board on top. And
Well, King
that
Jack.
card.
King Jack for Youngblood.
Yep. Youngblood doing great on top right now.
The board does not pair, but diamonds come in for Jackie on top.
Youngblood has diamonds too.
Oh my gosh, Youngblood of course has diamonds. On the bottom, who has the bottom? Thomas has a 10 for a straight. Jackie's got the Jack-10 for the better straight. So that's Jackie wins.
Jackie wins the bottom, Youngblood wins the top.
Yeah, and Thomas gets cut up.
That was brutal for Thomas.
Man, oh man, he flops an open-ender in one spot, open-ender in 2 spots, as well as top set. And
Just
gets it in behind. It's behind the whole way.
Yep.
There's your double board Omaha. Who knows? I can't even speak. This is
I mean,
crazy.
This is why we play this game, because we want to see the pain.
That was. Let's get a shot of Thomas, Gladys, if we could. Eleanor, show us Thomas. We want to see him. Although the mask sort of obscures the pain, in fairness.
I don't know if we will get another hand like that. I feel like that is pretty intense.
Yeah, that's pretty special. I guess we're going to find out. We get a bunch more of these. We're going to get at least the rest of this orbit this session, this episode, I should say. And then we, of course, have a second episode coming as well, which is going to be another hour and 40 minutes. And so we're going to see, I think, 2 more orbits of double board bomb pot, Omaha.
Yep. And for those of you who watched the earlier ad, you'll see there bombpot.poker. You can actually play this stuff.
Yeah. They have double board Omaha bomb pots, double board holdem bomb pots, and of course single board. Also, they have regular poker, no bomb pot poker as well, like holdem and stuff like that.
But you can just play all bomb pots if you want. That's why it's called Bomb Pot Poker.
Yeah.
They are sponsoring this episode, clearly.
If they're not, we are doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
What a hand to start. That was the first double board Omaha bomb pot.
Yeah. That's the promise of your Omaha bomb pots right there. Double board.
I think that's over-promising. I don't expect to see too many of those. Maybe heads up, maybe 2 hands that good, but 3 hands that are all like obligated to get it in on both boards.
We have 7 more hands. I guess at least 4 or 5 of them are going to be like that.
I don't think so.
Just kidding. No, that's likely
3
to be.
hands hit both boards, not just like 3 hands had a pretty good
Yeah.
hand on one board and a great hand on the other board.
Yeah.
11 exactly.
Yeah, because you could also see a spot where someone flops the nuts on one board and just a little something on the other
Yeah.
and feels obligated to get it in, where someone else flops strong on both boards, or 2 people flop
Right.
strong on both boards at the same time. But this is different. You're right. Wow.
So Jackie flopped the nuts on the top board, ended up winning the bottom board and losing the top board.
Yep.
He says Nikki started the shit show.
Yeah, that's what I was texting him about.
He might have just been dealing with that.
Yeah, she was already drawing dead, I think, on the turn on the top board after she flopped the nuts.
Yeah.
That's what happens with straights a lot in Omaha, though,
Right.
in fairness.
I mean, he looked kind of drunk. He might be dead in the ditch somewhere. Well, I mean, he could be. No one's heard from him.
All right, well, here we go again. Well, Wheel flopped top full house, so that's a good start. And Youngblood has a 7, so that's going to be bloody already. With aces, oh, Youngblood's going to lose some money, I think, on this one. People.
Check. 900.
And Dan Ross with a 5.
Hey, plug your shit in, bro. We can't hear you.
Hungover bet.
I can't hear you talking shit to me, bro.
There's just a lot of blood that's going to be spilled on this one, too, I got to say. Very likely. Maybe Dan Ross gets away from this fight once he sees all the action, though. He's the kind of guy who likes to make those folds.
Appetizer.
And that's 100. Fold.
We know Youngblood doesn't like to fold too much himself.
Yeah, and honestly, with aces and the 7, I don't think he should be. Like, he has a very good two-way hand here. Youngblood bets. Wheel just clicks it back. That gets rid of Dan Ross. Great for Wheel, actually. He's got the best hand in both spots right now. Youngblood picks up the gutter on the bottom. He's going to need an ace or a 6. I think too many 6s left.
Youngblood is beating Wheel on the bottom.
I know, they're gonna think it's just like one
Right. Right, of course he is. But he's going to need an ace or a 7 on top then to get the whole thing. Yeah, Wheel's actually drawing pretty thin on the bottom. He's got just the case king.
Hell yeah, brother.
What'd you get?
I don't know. You want another one?
I kind of want to transition to beer.
Okay.
Can I have a
I'm not
Corona with
transition.
lime?
I'm not transitioning.
No
Ooh,
transition.
Shit. Just give me the
No
same.
nitro.
So I think Youngblood's just deciding whether to shove or call because he can't really fold this hand,
Is that a
I
thing?
think.
Well, he could be up against trips in both spots.
Well, he's got a 7 though, so trips is okay.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out that's where he's losing.
Call.
Kind of rough.
All in there. He just goes all in. Wheel insta calls, and we are likely. That's safe for Wheel. That's safe for Youngblood. They're gonna chop it up.
Yep.
Fives. Aces.
The thing is, unlike in the holdem double boards, where you can sort of say, well, if he has the 3-4 hearts, then I've got the other board anyway.
Yeah.
That's not the case here
Nope.
at all. Someone can have the nuts on both boards, and they can be have nothing to do with each other,
And that is why you can get quartered in this game.
or just destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Jeez, what are you doing?
We ramped it up like 2 levels up.
For those who aren't used to split pot games, if it's not clear, getting quartered means that you get a quarter of the pot because you chopped one of the pots and you lost the other one.
Yeah, one half of the pot ends up getting chopped because you both have Broadway or whatever you have. Same hand.
Yeah, because these 4 made it 2.
Bro, it's getting serious now.
Pocket aces, bro.
And I was like, oh, it'll be fun.
I had pocket
'Cause
aces
the other
when I folded the first
route
hand.
they do on
Bernie,
fast.
are you cool with
Anywhere in the
what I
book.
got there?
Which
They are.
Well, Youngblood really could have dreamed of, 7s with a slightly worse kicker and like his aces playing on the other one and potentially scooping a little bit of the time.
Yeah.
Not too often when you shove and get called, I guess, but a little bit.
I certainly haven't done the math. I wonder how often when you go to Showdown in double board Omaha bomb pots that you actually get a scoop, like a full scoop.
I know, right? It's fun.
Hard to do. I
I
gotta
knew you
believe
would.
it.
No, I feel like the pandemic might make it a worse idea.
It's like goes along this trail where all the homeless people are living.
Brittany,
I
see
feel
that?
like if you caught me in a non-pandemic
Youngblood with a very
year, I'd
pretty
be
hand.
more-
Mostly for
Well, I did-
straights.
I know, I just got
Yeah.
done
And he
with
does
that
flop a
part.
straight. on the
Not
top.
really a good one.
Nope.
It's just so
But he
hard.
flops one.
Jackie's got a pretty good hand on that board with the King Jack 10.
Youngblood flops pretty well on both boards.
He does.
Wheel with the nuts on the bottom right now.
Jackie does have a flush draw on the bottom and a good hand on the top.
Set for Dan Ross on the bottom. Like, there's some stuff going on here. Youngblood betting his pretty darn strong hand. All the different things he's got going on. Good on both boards. Pretty good on both boards, at least.
I still have cards.
I couldn't see him behind
Wheel
the
with the
picture.
nuts on the bottom.
What the fuck you think I was doing?
Could consider raising, but I could see why he'd be worried about getting, putting a lot of money in against a flush draw on the bottom or a set and then just getting crushed because he never wins the other board at all.
How do you approach this as Laminator? You really have nothing going on the top board. And you have middle set with nothing else going on the bottom board. I guess you have the 6 also, which hurts your full house chances, but I guess it makes it
Yeah.
less likely somebody has a set of 6s.
I think you're supposed to play it pretty carefully because you assume you're not going to get more than half the pot. You figure you're not going to be able to chase everyone away easily. King Jack for Jackie.
Yep.
So now she's got the nuts up top.
And she makes a 10 on the bottom, which doesn't really matter, but you might think it matters sometimes.
She knows she's got the heart draw, so she's got to love her spot. This is a great check raise spot for Jackie now with the nuts
Yep.
and a really strong draw on the other board.
that my phone?
She could scoop this one.
Yep.
It's doable. Just takes a heart on the bottom and wheel to get all in with her.
Wheel probably should be betting here. Yeah. You're going to have nuts on one board versus nuts on the other. I don't know if the other guys are going to be able to stick around.
She does go for it. Now, there aren't many hearts left, as we can see. Youngblood has 3 of them. Laminator's got 1 of them. Jackie's got 3 of them instead of 2 of them, which is not ideal.
Youngblood folds the bat into the straight as well as the gutter and the flush draw on the other side, but good job. He was losing everywhere and drawing dead everywhere, actually.
This is a spot where, as wheel, you're worried about getting quartered because you got nothing on top.
Here's a weird spot for Laminator, like you were saying. He's got middle set. It's not always good. Sometimes he's worse. He's up against a worse set even.
And in fact, he is not good on the bottom.
Right, and he has nothing going on the other board and won't have anything going on the other board. He can't really get anything on the other board at all. So he's playing for only, at best, half the pot. I think it's a good fold.
Wheel's got to call, but he's got to be worried about getting quartered here.
Yep, and a heart would do it for him. Or for Jackie in this case, really, I should say. But it's not a heart. And
Chop up another one.
yep. There's a lot going on in that one, too.
Yeah.
I have a king high straight and a king 10 on got it.
You can see why that's such a good spot for Jackie to be able to check raise all in there with the nuts on one board and a strong draw on the other one.
Yeah.
Like how that's a near ideal spot, really. Where you don't mind getting the folds, you don't mind getting the calls.
Be better if she had the nut flush draw, of course.
Course.
On the bottom.
But you know, you can only play the cards they deal you, Grant.
Yep.
You can't trade them in for other cards. If you could say I'd like this Jack of Hearts to be an Ace of Hearts and they let you do it, that would be.
You can't do that, but there are draw games where you can trade in your cards. You just don't get to pick what cards you get.
That's true.
Thanks for acknowledging that.
Well, thanks for saying it. It was a dumb thing to say.
Where in a world where truth is difficult to put your finger on,
Here we go.
I am a beacon of knowledge and truth.
You know, people who declare themselves beacons of knowledge and truth are among the most suspicious these days.
I'm just trying to start a cult. Stop jamming me up, man.
What are you going to call it?
Let me try to think of a bullshit word real quick.
I trust you.
Vivacarium.
That's very much like Vivarium, the new movie that's on Amazon.
Yeah, I think I
with
had seen.
Imogene Poots.
I think I had seen that it was on there, and that's probably where I got that word.
Jesse Eisenberg. It's
All right.
only all right.
All right, you can be my PR guy. What's my cult name?
Well, let's work on that after we try and deal with this next double board bomb pot because it's clearly going to break our brains.
There's something a little bit more important going on here.
Here's the top, 8-3-3. Well, Youngblood does have a 3.
Thomas has an 8.
Ace, Jack, 4, 2 diamonds on the bottom. They're a diamond. Jackie with the nut flush draw.
3 queens for Digital Dan.
Nothing else going on for Jackie, though, except the nut flush draw. Unless Laminator has diamonds, Jackie will be the only one with a diamond draw as well.
Feels like we're back to Normalsville.
Yeah, unless Laminator's got a monster, but he doesn't. He already folded. Will Jackie even call? Playing for half the pot, and it's just a draw. It is the nut flush draw, but nope, just lets it go.
I missed Omaha.
Probably reasonable.
Yep.
Did that last time.
I missed Omaha.
Always feels good, though, to flop reasonably well on only one board and get to win the whole pot.
All right, if you name my cult,
Yeah.
I'll give you my first 10 followers after I get to 100 followers.
Okay, how about we call it Hats Show Business, baby? Not that.
Okay,
Hats
you're
Show Business.
You definitely don't.
baby.
You no longer are my PR person. That was atrocious. We're not. We're gonna go a different direction.
This is a safe space, man. We're brainstorming here.
It's not safe to me anymore. That was intellectually offensive.
There are no bad ideas.
People who say that always have bad ideas.
I'm gonna call something Hat Show Business.
It better be a haberdashery.
Yeah, that's a good. Or like a movie company.
But why hats though?
Because it's cool.
Okay, good point.
10-6-4 rainbow.
They lock down over there if you're caught outside of the.
And the Ace 8-5-2 club board.
Yeah, you get shot on the spot.
There are clubs for Dan Ross with his pocket
I
jacks.
lie.
He's also got a gutter up top.
Queens for Jackie on top and
Shot on
top
the
pair.
spot. I lie.
Yep, she actually has a pair on both boards along with her queens.
Philippines.
Once again, we don't know what Laminator has. Apparently, we'll never know. Wheel with top 2 on the bottom.
Yep, but nothing going on top really.
He's got bottom pair.
Yeah.
That's something, if you can get heads up, sometimes just bottom pair is enough to get you half the pot.
In holdem, probably not in Omaha.
Yeah, not as much. No, but it gives you hope.
Yeah.
potentially. Like you could hit maybe
False
some weird,
hope. Yeah,
some
false
weird
hope.
two-pair trips or something. It might be your escape valve. Here's Laminator's hand. Laminator with actually top and bottom and open ender. He's got a real hand. I guess that's why I bet $200.
Quite quotable sometimes.
Yeah. He's something else.
There's a king and the deuce of clubs.
He's special.
So both players make their king's wheel now with top and bottom up top.
Dave, at least guys, they're all gay anyway.
Laminator with
It's like,
really by far the best of it
like
on the
a couple
bottom.
100 million people.
Now, and wheel also has hearts. Wheel now has the nut flush draw up top, Grant.
Oh, indeed.
So a lot going on for wheel here.
Did you say Laminator has the best of it on the bottom?
Yeah, he's got aces and fives.
Wheels got aces and eights, buddy.
Holy macaroni. Or Macarena, I should say. I'm wrong again. Yeah, Wheel's got aces and eights and is looking good.
With top and bottom on the top with the nut flush draw. That's pretty good.
Yep, Laminator does have straight draws on both boards. That is not one
There's
of
the
the straights.
flush for wheel.
And there's the straight for Laminator on the bottom with the 5-3. So they're going to end up chopping this one. But Wheel's got this sort of... I guess both these players are going to feel good enough about their hands to be able to do stuff here.
How does Laminator have a straight on the bottom again?
He has 5-3.
Uh-huh.
Hey, he doesn't have a straight. Wheel's going to win everything.
Yeah, Wheel's got it all.
It's a little hard to read these boards.
Yeah, alright.
So Laminator bets 100. Wheel's going to have to raise this.
Yeah, you have the nut flush.
There's no reason not to raise.
I guess Queen 9 of hearts is a possibility. but
Whatever.
yeah.
You also have ace-8 on the bottom. Like,
How much?
did he just move in?
I like.
Yes, he did.
It's only for 800.
Got his ass.
I don't think Laminator can call.
No, I don't think so either.
There's no way you can call with this hand.
He has just one pair up top
I like.
and
You
just
like to go home?
aces up on the bottom. There's no way he's calling.
Oh, finally.
Shut on your ass.
Shit.
Okay, we got 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, you got some artichokes you need to
Of course, we said that about Youngblood, and he's called. So we'll see.
Yeah. That's been on the flop, though.
You know, this is one of those spots where you kind of hope Wheel has the nut flush up top, and you get him on the bottom, right? You call and win half the pot. That would be the plan.
If
you're
that's your
calling.
hope, you should fold. Because you
Yeah.
don't have that good of a hand on the bottom.
Agreed. And also, when you're calling this much to win half the pot, it's not a great spot. Right? It's 800 to win 700. So, in your best case scenario, seemingly is to win half the pot. You figure you never win the top.
Yeah, I think it's time to sad throw away the hand. That will be course 1 in my cult.
Yeah. But I love this play by Wheel, taking the nut flush. And now it turns out he was going to win the whole thing anyway, but turning it into potentially winning the other half of the pot that he thinks he might be losing.
Whatever. Actually, just
Right? Because there's a flush on the bottom, which
Yeah.
Laminator could have.
I mean, there's a world where Wheel can scoop and get called if Laminator had a smaller flush on top
Yep.
and had a pretty good hand on the bottom.
Even
that wasn't-
ace-5.
Yeah.
Ace-5 and hearts, I think, is enough.
Yeah.
You hope you get half the pot. You probably have to call.
But Laminator makes the prudent choice and folds.
Yep, I like to play by both guys there once Wheel raises.
Half
Yeah.
the reason I play Omaha is just
I don't know about Laminator betting the river.
Well, he did a blocker bet.
Yeah.
so often, so rarely do we get to say it.
You can say it whenever you want.
Yeah.
I will say all of these double board Omaha pots so far, very interesting.
Yeah.
sometimes it's close. Essential net.
How often when these guys are playing these things off camera do they mess up who wins the pot? I mean, it's got to happen.
It's got to happen. I imagine that everyone's going pretty slowly, but it's got to happen. I mean, I've seen people mess up in regular Omaha
Yeah.
and regular holdem, you know?
And you'll never have to worry about that actually online. I'm not actually
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do like a promotion thing, but it's true. It'll just do it for you.
Yep. Assuming it hasn't been hacked.
Wow. That's a great thing to say.
Well, I'm just, since you weren't doing a promotion anyway.
Yeah, good point.
Okay, here we go. Open ender for Digital Dan.
Check
Jack
it.
with a very pretty starting
Yeah,
hand,
that's quite a starting hand.
but not so good anymore.
Everybody loves having King Queen 9-3 if you're named Thomas or Wonka. They love it.
Well said. An 8 for Dan Ross on both boards, but not a whole lot so far. We haven't seen Laminator and Wheels cards, of course. Laminator's sticking around, so probably has some straight draw type action there. 6-7's a pretty good hand to have right now.
Youngblood has 6-7
Yes, he does.
and 10-7, by the way. for the bottom. Make a bigger straight.
Yeah. Laminator with the queens. Jackie with the aces. Well, 6-7 comes in.
So Youngblood has the top locked up already. That's pretty nice.
That is cool. And on the bottom, you've got Jackie with the aces, which is currently the best of it.
Yeah, she also has Jack 10 for the gut shot.
Right. Youngblood, of course, still open-ended now with a pair. Eliminator with the queens and the jack only. I don't think he can stick around anymore. With, assuming Youngblood, I can't imagine him folding.
Yeah, you can't really think you're good on top ever if you're Laminator. Not usually, at least.
3 ways, it's going to be tough. Wait. Did Youngblood just... No, he didn't fold, did he?
There's no way Youngblood fold. He has the nuts.
He must have put out a time card.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense. It just looks like Laminator's... Oh, no, okay. We just can't... It's just his cards are obscured.
Jonathan, your confusion is upsetting me.
I'm sorry. Youngblood goes all in.
It doesn't... Did he really?
Well, that's what it says. That's what the graphics say. I do see the all-in button in front of him, or that could just... No, that is the all-in button in front of him.
So it is actually no limit Omaha, by the way.
Yeah.
Not pot limit Omaha.
Yeah.
Just because we want it to be a little higher variance.
Well, I don't see how Jackie can call anymore.
I don't think you can, no. Oh!
She does call, and she's in pretty good shape for one of the boards.
Yeah, but she's not in the best shape in the world. And
She has diamonds also. Well, that ace is gonna... It's gonna be a chop.
yeah, that locks it up for her on the
Yeah.
bottom.
I think the diamonds along with the aces made it just enough, and the jack 10 too, just enough.
Eight high straight looks good.
Still kind of a big call.
Yeah. Youngblood could have easily had a straight on both boards.
Yeah, that's one of those spots where I think as Jackie, you hope he's got like a good flush run on one board and just an okay hand on the other where you can beat him, or you're ahead sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen very often though, in fairness, as we're seeing how these guys are actually playing.
I don't know enough to fold aces with the nut flush draw. I'm like, yeah, he could have me both, but I have a redraw.
You definitely have some outs.
I'm not drawing dead.
It's also just more fun to call than to fold generally.
Not when you find out you're drawing dead, though.
Well, no, but
It becomes,
in the moments before you find out you're drawing dead, it's more fun to call.
I guess so.
It's a smoothie.
He has
Those smoothies are
he has
good.
boozy smoothie.
I got a boozy smoothie.
That smoothie be good with a shot of rum in it, wouldn't it?
No, that was a blue moon.
I
I already
mean-
drank it.
I feel like
If
rum.
only anybody had thought of that.
The
Can I
boozy
take your
smoothie is it's the
No.
ultimate
Okay.
cover of alcohol.
Okay, Dan, it's your show. That's fine.
No, I mean, that is exactly what Nick is drinking right now, Jack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I put rum in there. It's
That's
delicious.
a great idea.
Jack 7-4
Aren't you
rainbow
glad Jay thought
top,
of it?
top 2 for wheel, and queen deuce with 2 hearts.
Jackie does have a queen. She's the only one.
Wonka with hearts, Digital Dan with hearts. Youngblood does have the ace of hearts. If you wanted to get cute.
6, 7, 8, 9 for Digital Dan is decent on the top board.
Yeah. Wheel betting his King Jack 7-6, top 2.
Is it good, Nick?
Can't imagine Jackie's ever going in with ace queen.
I just asked for rum in it.
You like rum?
And by the way, top pair on the other
Yeah,
board
like,
too. She has a nice
I
hand.
don't usually drink it in things actually, but it's good in there. And someone actually got me.
So the next orbit's going to be single board holdem. Oh my god.
It's gonna be
the other day.
A breath of fresh air.
No,
I don't know. It's gonna be like watching a Terrence Malick movie. I think like super slow.
As compared to this, sure.
Yeah. Oh, Jackie hits another queen. She's now got top 2.
She's now winning on both boards.
That's a pretty good deal. Although hearts come in.
Oh no, she's not winning on the
Digital
bottom
Dan
board.
now has the flush.
You're
yeah.
right.
But it's not a great flush, so he's gonna have to play it with some caution. But they did check to him, so.
Three-dimensional Connect 4.
Wheel now has the best hand on the top board.
And don't be confused. Jackie still just has trip queens.
Right, you can only use 2 of those.
Yeah.
You can't make a full house this way in Omaha.
Right. So Digital Dan does have the best hand for the
The
bottom.
other day I dreamed I had a puppy, and I took him out in the river, and then my puppy was gone. And he was just hanging out at the bottom of the river.
Jackie's
You know,
betting
we
into
rescued
2
him and he was
superior
fine, but
superior
hanging
hands.
out
I wonder if she
in the
can get one of them to fold. That would be a great win for her.
And maybe Digital Dan finds a fold on that double paired board with just a 9-9 heart draw. It's not crazy at all.
at the
No.
bottom of the water waiting
Wheel
for
could
the
find a fold
sea
here
to
too
rescue me.
with clubs.
What a
out there.
parlay! What a parlay that would be for Jackie.
To get one of them to fold, she might even get both of them to fold.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if Wheel folds, Digital Dan may be like, I'm calling on that board for only half the pot. What am I doing?
Yeah,
She may get this through.
I think she might.
It's not a bluff though. That's the crazy thing. She's trying to get called by a worse queen. I think. There goes one.
And it's possible Queen Jack is good on top sometimes. Yeah, she gets it through
Wow.
kind of by accident. That's
Yeah.
a miracle.
Yep. They had just slightly better hands.
9 high flush on the double.
The
And
stars aligned. The
They
stars
did.
aligned there.
They only had half the board each. They were never playing really anything on the other board. It all worked perfectly.
Man, man, Wheel.
What a deal for Jackie.
Yeah, big time good deal for her.
Wow.
Yes, you can bluff in this game.
Have we had an uninteresting double board Omaha hand yet? I don't know if we have.
We've had some less interesting ones, but yeah,
What
you're
does
right.
that have to do with poker, though, Dre?
Not really a
I
bluff.
didn't understand
doesn't look
that.
like
earlier
a
on.
No,
I don't think there's any two people better suited in the world to commentate this than you and me. Also, like,
Oh,
we
for
got-
sure.
we have more experience than anyone else now doing
House has
poker
buttons.
commentary on this. I
just wants
think.
On double board bomb pot Omaha.
Yeah.
I think at this point we are #1 in experience.
I would like to tell Nick Schulman right now to suck it. That's what I would like to do. How does that feel, buddy?
White.
Not so good, right?
Is that a call out?
I guess it is.
Calling him out for being an excellent commentator.
She goes, it's a bland.
He is quite good.
Of course he is.
His shirt.
There's a set for Youngblood.
That's
set of
pretty
queens.
good. That's pretty
Currently
good.
the
Shirt,
nuts.
I think it should be safe. They're just being bitches.
And 7-8-3 rainbow on the bottom.
Top 2 for Wheel on the bottom.
Stuff that you wrap fancy pears in.
I haven't seen my hand.
That's
What it
what-
is, I
pears.
just
I guess that's the best hand on the bottom right
Yeah,
now.
seems like it.
Like the really nice pears.
Oh, I'm supposed to look at the board.
Looks like
That's what makes it a blast.
spades for laminator, by the way, as well as a pair.
That's the definition of a blast.
I don't know how good he can feel about those spades, just the 10 high
Pear.
What the hell
flush draw.
Yeah, what's an off?
But also top pair. Laminator probably has to stick around, actually. He's got a pair on both boards and the spade draw.
Like it wouldn't have.
As
Looks
I
like
say
he
that,
folded.
he folds.
Yeah.
I guess he just wants to be stronger in places. With all these people behind him, I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
People do that with their lives?
Anyway, this is set up where Youngblood could scoop this with a set on one board and queens on the other. He also, by the way, has a gutter.
Shocked by
I'm
that.
old
You're
and
so
I
lucky.
don't
I worked at Walmart once.
Heads up.
Never had an office job in your life. Must be nice. Some guys have all.
That's a terrible card for Wheel.
You have an office job?
Wow.
Yep. That's gonna hurt.
Yes.
Wheel's going to need to
That's
find a
why
way
you
to win the
drink
bottom.
so much. I get it now.
And he's losing that too right now.
Yeah, Youngblood's gonna be emboldened on the bottom now.
Youngblood also is going to feel great about his hand with the queens. I mean, he's only losing to quad fives up top, so he can just put money in
He can
comfortably.
feel like if you lose to quad fives and something else on the bottom, so be it. You know, life goes on.
Right. No big deal. Just the way of the world here.
So what were you proposing, Dan, as far as an extension?
Is Wheel really going to fold here with
One more week.
trip fives? I don't see it.
The 2 pair on the bottom really shrunk up quite a bit with that ace.
It did. But with trip fives as well,
Yeah.
you kind of have to call. But he's going to need some help.
Got 100 lots of. It's pretty close.
I guess actually he's winning the bottom. I take it back. He's winning the bottom.
He is.
So he is chopping, but Youngblood can put in another big bet right now.
Youngblood should put in a big bet, hoping like he shouldn't expect his ace to be good on the bottom
Right.
that often on this run out. You might as well
Agreed.
try to get him to fold out the bottom
Yep.
because you're winning the top. It's pretty much a guarantee.
Did he bet? No, he went all in. I like this.
I like this too. If Wheel calls, he gets to chop. If he folds, it's great for Youngblood.
Yep. Either way, he's putting Wheel in a tough spot. Wheel putting in 1.6K to win $450. Not great on this in this spot. I don't really think he can call, which is great for Youngblood.
Yeah.
No.
Both of his hands just feel like they shrunk up a lot throughout the course of the hand.
Yeah. Clubs are even in play on the bottom now. I don't think he can call.
call that?
straights are in play.
I'll just be like,
Um,
His 5 isn't that good. He doesn't have a good kicker. He lets it go correctly. Well, correctly.
Well-
correctly in terms of what I think is
Now
correct
the action
theoretically,
begins.
not in terms
Oh,
of the
yeah.
actual.
Single board, hold.
Spot.
2
Oh,
cards.
God.
I had a fly.
You see, this is what something we've seen a lot of players do though. When they've got the nuts on one half, they're just
Over with.
barreling hard to win the whole pot, which is seems right.
It's how you should do it.
Yeah.
Good hands, but no nutty.
It's cool.
One more.
Single board.
2 cards.
Except in situations where where you're in a multi-way pot and you feel like there's a third party who might be contributing dead money to the pot. You might want to not take aggressive actions if they still have time to act,
Yeah.
instead of barreling everything if you have the nuts on one board.
I suppose that's true, but
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
mostly winning the whole pot's better.
It's a good game.
Anyway,
Yeah.
mostly.
Back to reality.
Well, I think we're back to hold'em single board.
Whoa. It is still a bomb pot,
can we have a wild card?
but it's super weird.
7's a row.
Is this even poker, man?
Well, we got 3 diamonds and looks like the 8 of diamonds is oh no,
No,
Dan
the-
Ross is the jack.
Pretty good flop for Dan Ross, actually.
Yeah.
That a 30?
Jackie with top pair, but not interested. That's probably just going to do it.
None of these hands seem like they should be calling, but it looks like Youngblood disagrees with me because he has 2 black 6s.
Wow.
And that makes lots of sense. Wow. What is going on?
Wow. The 6 of hearts on the turn is going to be one hell of a card.
I don't like to be too critical of the players on Poker Time, but I don't like this call from Youngblood.
He is on the button at least.
Sure.
I assume if check to, he's going to take a shot, right? He can never just check it back.
Young blood.
Dan Ross bets small again. Blocker bet here.
Blood clot.
I mean, you could always raise. He's betting 35 into 140. You don't have a
That
blocker.
would be your only reason to raise. You don't have any other reason to believe that Dan has a weak hand,
Correct.
or that you could represent anything. You don't have like the nut flush blocker or anything like that.
Maybe he just thinks Dan's got a lot of king of diamonds there, so like on the flop he's still ahead, and then on the turn when the king comes, he's like,
That would just be a random assumption. I mean,
Yep.
Dan could bet a king of diamonds, or it could bet a set, or 2 pair,
or a pair with
flush.
the king of diamonds,
or a flush.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to her for $2.99 a minute. She wouldn't even say anything dirty.
Well,
Driving Miss Cleo.
He was talking all this shit.
Dan Ross takes it down. You know what they say about Dan Ross?
Dan Ross, he's got a backwards hat.
And
He likes to smell cheese.
they call him TP, but not because he likes the toilet paper.
He doesn't like toilet paper.
No, he just goes bare. I believe it's called roughnecking it.
Oh, okay.
Give me big enough pots.
Wow, how did this? I'm sorry, Dan Ross. That was too much.
That was you, man.
I apologize. I was just making a joke and it turned into a whole thing.
Feels like forever.
It's kind of amazing that you have not been canceled, Jonathan Levy.
Thank God we don't have more subscribers. All right, what do we got here? We got pair and a straight draw for Thomas. Pair and a gutter for Digital Dan, along with overs. No pair, actually. Just overs and the gutter. That's kind of it. Youngblood with a gutter, but not exciting.
After that double board Omaha, this is just a snooze fast.
That's what I was saying, man. You ever see the movie Tree of Life? Yeah, don't.
I haven't, because I've heard that from many people.
Don't. So slow and boring.
Aren't there some real Tree of Life truthers out there?
Specifically?
We're just like, that's the best movie.
I mean, there are people who love Terrence Malick and love his style. I'm not one of them, and most people are not one of them. That's why no one sees those movies. Those movies do not do well, but he gets to keep making them. It's like Wes Anderson. That's right. I said it. I don't care. I finally said it. Okay.
Wes Anderson is more universally beloved, but yeah, no, this is not new. We've talked about how neither of us like Wes Anderson on our multimedia platforms before.
I've been sitting on this Wes Anderson thing for years, and I'm finally letting it out.
But aren't you amused, Jonathan, by how the train goes down the track and then they show you all of how the person packs their bag?
Oh.
Aren't you amused?
I'm so deeply unamused by the pastel color palette. Anyway, what do we got here? We have all spades, king 10-6, then ace of spades for Wonka. He's got a big hand with a 10 also.
Yep.
Laminator flops a flush, though.
That's a bigger hand.
Yep. And because this is just hold'em, Laminator ain't just going to get away from this if someone bets or puts pressure on him, probably.
Although in a bomb pot, if you get raised right now, it starts to get a little sketchy.
Well, you know, when they raise you, it's either the nuts or the ace of spades.
Right.
Those are the only two things they're raising you with. Like, I don't think Wonka's ever raising the queen jack of spades.
And there's 3 times as many combos of just the ace of spades than there are the nuts. Actually, more than that because you hold 2 spades.
Yep. Wonka makes the call. I like this with the 10 in his hand.
During the COVID
Problem is-
Jackie got to fold now.
Yeah. Really hard for Wonka horse to get value if a spade comes, which sucks. Unless Laminator bluffs it, but what are you going to do?
Now he's got a meaningless gut shot
Paul Dang named it.
also.
Expect Laminator to size it up a little bit here. 200?
Yeah, pretty big.
That counts. 80% of the pot.
I think Wonka might be in raise or fold mode now. He's going to have to try to get Laminator off a better hand than he has, or he's just going to have to give it up because he doesn't have the right price to draw to the nut flush with no implied odds.
Well, I wonder if Wonka's thinking, though, sometimes a 10 might be good, sometimes a jack might be good.
Next to a clown.
If you're lucky and Laminator has king-queen, I guess.
Yeah. Is he really just going to throw the ace of spades? Looks like he is.
I think it's a raise or fold spot.
Yeah.
I kind of like the play.
I agree. Especially out of position, even more so.
Yeah.
But probably even in position, I would think.
Yep.
Man, bomb pots.
It's different.
It really is different. It's cool. We're doing a whole episode, and again, I mentioned this. We're having a second half of this session. It's going to come out as a second episode in the near future, probably in about a week or so.
Anywhere from a week to a year from now.
Yeah, keep an eye on our YouTube channel for that. But we are excited. It's a historic occasion.
Is on theme with my
We're the greatest
franchise idea. Which
We are
bomb
the
pot
greatest.
commentators of all time.
Keep an eye on our YouTube channel no matter what, by the way, not just for that. It should be the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning.
What's going on their channel? Laminator with the aces plays much better as a double board hand than a single board hand.
I think Franken
It's still a pretty good hand to have.
Well, we got some open enders with Digital Dan and Wonka.
I'm being told this is the last hand.
Really? So soon? That's crazy how quickly it goes. Youngblood with overs and the gutter.
In the backdoor third nut flush draw.
Youngblood bets it. And Laminator raises the aces. Wow.
Trying to clean up that equity, like you like to say.
It is going to work. I think it's just going to chase the whole world out. Let's
Folding
see.
out a couple open enders unless Dan calls here.
How can Dan call? The spades are a problem. Yeah.
He knows it too.
Jackie lets it go. Youngblood can't call this. Can he?
Youngblood always calls, Jonathan.
And Youngblood once again calls.
It's not a 10. It is, in fact, a great card for Laminator.
I mean, he could be up against Jack 5 and 9-5, but
True.
pretty good. Like, Youngblood doesn't have any single fives. He could have fives with spades. That's about it. Laminator having the ace of spades in his hand has got to be nice. Youngblood really can't call again.
No, this should be the end of this and the end of the episode.
Let's see, though. Sometimes we're surprised. Okay.
Oh, he fakes him out.
Faked
Got him.
me out. I believed.
Well, we will take a little break and be back in a week or so with another hour and 40 to 2 hours
Yeah.
of this session.
Really excited to bring it to you.